In April 2022, I set out to complete the 42-mile-long Tecumseh Trail. Named after the famous chief of the Shawnee, the Tecumseh Trail winds its way through the ridges and hollows of southern Indiana. I began the hike at the northern end in Morgan-Monroe State Forest and planned to hike for 4 days, ending at Panther Creek in Yellowwood State Forest. Alright, day one on the Tecumseh Trail. Excited to finally be out here. It's been on the bucket list for a long time. So the plan is to hike about 5 miles to meet my friend Ian from college. And then he'll hike with me for about 3 miles and camp at the backcountry shelter in Morgan-Monroe State Forest. And then the next day, he'll go back to his home and I'll continue hiking. Alright, so I think I've gone about 2 miles now. In about a mile or so, I'll be coming to something called the rock shelter. Not quite sure what that is, but I like rocks, so I'm excited. I think I see it up ahead. That might be it. It looks pretty big. The rock shelter provided protection from the rain, and I took the opportunity to rest and have a snack. Alright, well that was a nice little break, but I'm still a few miles away from where I'm supposed to meet Ian, so I'm going to put the camera away and try to crush those extra miles because he's going to be there in about an hour and I'm pretty far away, so we made it. Looks like there's no Ian yet, so I guess we beat him. Since I had some time to spare, I decided to have a look around for anything interesting, like these crinoid fossils. a type of ancient marine life. It wasn't much longer before Ian arrived, and after a quick hello, we set off.
I'm Ian.
All right, you ready to go?
Ready to go.
Soon, we came to a stream crossing, where we found some more geologic wonders. Just giant geodes.
Oh, you love to see it.
Or can it be a geode if there's no like hole in the middle?
Yeah, it's a question that I should know the answer to.
Yeah. We decided to stay a while and see what else we could find, like these large horned corals. That's a good looking one. The reason why they're horn shaped is because, I mean, they're actually supposed to grow vertically, but a lot of times they get knocked over and then they're still following the sun because they're corals. And that's why like they start to bend upward. So they start off vertically, fall over because like a fish or a wave, and then they start to grow up again. These horn corals date back to the Mississippian period, some 360 million years ago. During this time, this area was covered by a shallow sea and had a much more tropical climate, much like the Bahamas today. Soon, we came to a junction where we decided to check the map. All right, so we started here this morning, hiked all the way down to the rock shelter, met Ian here at this parking lot, and we have hiked all the way up here to Shipman Ridge, and the backcountry shelter should just be right ahead. With the prospect of our campsite just ahead, we wasted no time getting back on trail. Sure enough, the backcountry shelter was not far away. Made it to the shelter. Not too bad of a hike.
Not at all.
I know that this was new, but I didn't realize it was going to be like that good of condition. Like that looks awesome. It's like a full cabin. Wow.
Love to see it.
Open up the door. Ooh. Oh, this is cool. It's pretty spacious. All right, what side of the room do you want?
You're sleeping outside.
After checking out our sleeping arrangements, it was time for dinner. I was making couscous with sun-dried tomatoes, pesto, and parmesan. We were excited for our meal and goofed off while we were cooking. Some more olive oil.
Can we see the Can we see the container? Tell me about the container.
Graduated cylinder olive oil. Nothing more scientific.
Now tell me about your method there. Tell me about the method that you're stirring.
Well, I'm using the Jansen J-hook stroke here. First developed in 1989. We had a relaxing meal, and then decided that it would be a perfect evening for a campfire. The hypnotic flames drew conversation out of us, and we talked along about future projects and past adventures.
Yeah, I mean, you could do something like, have a whole podcast called like Campfire Stories.
Yeah.
Where, like, everybody's heard a campfire story, but this one you actually have to build the campfire.
And you must finish your story
Talk about
before
whatever,
we run out of firewood.
I think part of the fun of going to a national park is like how you get there. I can remember how we went to Yellowstone and Glacier and all this, like staying in that dingy hotel and sneaking in
Oh yeah.
a bunch of people because we didn't want to pay for the
That's
extra
right.
beds.
We snuck in like 6 or 7 different people through the side door.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like they did. After a restful night, I was ready for the day ahead. Thanks for camping. That was fun. Glad you could make it out.
Of course. Good to see you, dude.
Yeah, safe travels back. All right, made it to Bear Lake, which means I've hiked about 10 miles of the whole trail, so still a long way to go. There's a shelter about 4 miles away that I intend to stop at and have a nice long lunch, but I don't plan on staying there. I'll be meeting my brother Jacob and our friend Jameel at Charlie's shelter, which is at mile marker 20. So I got about 10 more miles to go today. I enjoyed the serenity of the lake for a few moments. And after a few awkward stretches, I continued on. It's actually so peaceful down there by the lake. Wish I could just stay there, but I can't. Must keep going. I'm officially lost. There's a blaze right behind me, right behind all that mess. But I see nothing in front of me. I'm really hoping that's not actually the trail, but I guess we'll try it. Found it. I see the shelter up ahead. After my lunch and coffee, I took advantage of the peaceful afternoon and had a power nap. I'd like to just shout out to Lutheran Hills for constructing and maintaining the shelter. It was an awesome little retreat for lunch, so thank you so much for putting that together. All right, so I'm about 6 miles from Charlie's shelter, which is where I'll be staying tonight, and also going to meet my brother Jacob and our friend Jameel there, although they're not going to get in until probably pretty late at night. But I've been doing a lot of filming and have mistakenly burned through almost all my power, so I think this next stretch of trail I won't film as much, and I think I'll just pick up again once we get close to Charlie's. All right, it's day 3 on the Tecumseh Trail. Last night stayed at Charlie's shelter and didn't do a whole lot of filming because I was trying to conserve battery like I said. But then I met up with these guys, my brother Jacob and our friend Jameel. And Jacob brought an extra battery pack so I can continue to film. And so we're just getting some water here at this stream and rinsing our feet off a little. And then we're on our way to Yellowwood Lake. Bit of a moist stream crossing. All of these like grassy hills behind us are giving me like major like Viking tomb kind of vibes. Yeah, honestly they remind me a lot of like Mississippian earthen mounds a little bit. After a few miles, we stopped to check the map and have a snack break. But we weren't the only ones. This nearby hawk managed to catch himself his second breakfast. The trail then turned into a short road walk that ended at this small pond, where we decided to have our full lunch. We also ran into some trail angels who were supporting another group of hikers. They generously offered some snacks and cold drinks. So how about just like a first name and where you're from and what you're doing out here?
All right. Kitty Slayer from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Here for the trail magic.
I can go back and get it. I might do that.
Get around that mud.
We were pleasantly surprised to be offered some trail magic on a shorter hike like this one. It was a reminder that the trail and the trail community is universal. We stopped at a creek for water, and while the others were filtering, I looked around for more fossils. I found more crinoid stems and this brachiopod shell. Imagine being a salamander and having to climb this hill. Be horrible. We ended up running into those same trail angels again at our road crossing at the northern tip of Yellowwood Lake. They kindly offered us a ride to the campground at the southern end of the lake. Given that we were hiking in the heat of the day, we gratefully accepted. The rest of the afternoon in the campground was spent trying to hide from the sun. But when it got lower, we wandered down to the lake where Jacob decided to try his luck fishing with a hand line. Despite not catching any fish, we enjoyed a great sunset. day 4 on the Tecumseh Trail, our last day, and didn't do much yesterday at camp, just tried to avoid the sun. But today we have about a 12-mile hike or so to the end, and we're beginning our ascent up Hiking Hill right now. Ended up going the wrong way, but that's okay. I think we know where we're going now. All right, made it. You want a free pair of socks? I love the stitch one right there. Of course, I couldn't pass up the opportunity for a free rock. Do I go for a whole one or an already split one? And after some deliberation, I decided on a geode and was ready to begin the final stretch of trail. All right, we're about 2 miles or so from the parking lot where Jacob has his car parked. So the trail is coming to an end. I've pushed on ahead though, leaving the others behind because the parking lot is not the official end of the Tecumseh Trail. There's still about 1.5 miles or so to the official end with a little sign. So I'm gonna try to plow ahead and get to the car and leave my pack there and trail run the rest of the 1.5 miles or so and then backtrack back to the car. Hopefully I'll be able to do all of that before Jacob and Jameel get back there. Now that we're nearing the end here, starting to think about how I don't really want the hike to end yet, even though I'm pretty spent and could definitely use a shower. I really wish I could just wake up tomorrow and keep hiking. I think we're on the last fold of a very big map. I got that end of trail feeling. I know that it's just up ahead. Oh man, what a great feeling to see this road. Woohoo! Yes. We did it. Well, I have a choice to make. Wait here and say that this is the end, or hike the 1.8 miles there and then the 1.8 miles back to Panther Creek, which is more or less the official end. I think I know the answer. I'm just resting up to make that decision. Okay, we're doing it. We're going to Panther Creek, but I gotta be completely honest, already regretting the decision because it hits you with a massive hill right out of the parking lot right there. Man, you do get rewarded with some beautiful views up here. A bench. Awesome. We did it.